Welcome to Darshan America, folks. We come to you from Washington, D.C. My name is Ramesh Bhutani.
And I'm Astha Verma.
So Michelle Bachmann won the straw poll in Iowa, but Rick Perry got all the oxygen of the Republican Party and all the portrayals in almost every magazine.
You know, people were waiting on the sidelines for this one. Will he or won't he? Will he or won't we? And he did it, unfortunately, right as this debate was happening. And as you said, he stole all the thunder right out from these other candidates. But you know who he reminds me of?
Who?
George Bush. And for all the obvious reasons.
No. Even, George Bush moved to Texas. This guy is a Texan by 8 or 10 generations. He actually was a Texan when Texas was a country. And he threatened, by the way, a couple years ago to say, hey, he's going to take Texas back again as a separate country, not a state anymore. But he is 10 years. He's been the longest-serving governor of Texas, and he tells President Obama, you talk about creation of jobs, so you say 2 million you created? Well, I created 1 million of those 2 million.
Well, it helps that he's also running one of the largest states in the union.
That is true.
I mean, that's a fortunate thing for him. You know, in terms of personality, I will have to say that finally, in the Republican pack, other than Michelle Bachmann, he definitely is bringing some personality. I mean, you have Ron Paul, who adds personality, but he's sort of the eccentric factor.
That's right.
But then other than that, you have Mitt Romney, who is just classically boring. And now you've got Rick Perry, who at least, I think, presents a bit more personality. The thing that's going to be interesting to watch here is what happens now to the Republican pack. I mean, for one, right after this debate occurred, Tim Pawlenty dropped out of the race. Mm-hmm. And, I think many people saw it as, well, Michelle Bachmann really tore into him, and between the two of them, she clearly walked away the winner of the mini debate between the two of them. But, you read Tim Pawlenty's sort of acquiescence to the situation, and you wonder, did he leave because he just felt that he was walked over by Michelle Bachmann, or did he leave because he was just disgusted with the pack and the style of politics that he anticipates is going to happen? I mean, Michelle Bachmann, what was it other than all these candidates just basically sticking to their political ideologies?
Very simple. These three personalities, Mitt Romney, Rick Perry, and Michelle Bachmann, they are very powerful figures. Tim Pawlenty did not make it. Neither did Jon Huntsman, nor did the former speaker. None of these guys were any stronger than these three. And let me tell you, going forward, it's going to be Rick Perry, Mitt Romney, Michelle Bachmann.
I agree that it probably is going to be that pack, but what I worry is that those independents out there who are now frustrated on both sides, who also cannot identify with the Tea Party because the Tea Party is so far now into their ideological corner, who's left in the middle representing that middle space? I think Tim Pawlenty was a reasonable, moderate candidate. Jon Huntsman could have been a reasonable, moderate candidate. But now you have these band of three that are all stuck in their political, ideological corners, and here we go again. They make for great political rhetoric, but they don't make great solution-oriented people.
I disagree, but then again, I must tell you why. Ross Perot, you remember his candidacy? He was fantastic. He was also a great manager. He could see in the distance that if you signed that NAFTA, all the jobs are going to go to Mexico. Did it happen? Yes, that happened. That's the, mark of a fine manager. I really believe right now that Europe is having problem, America is having problem, almost every country is having problem. And what is the most common thing among them? You go to their store, folks, everything is made in China. They're importing. They are setting up China at a very high location, but they don't understand 10, 15, 20% of the country will never want to be educated and have those high-type jobs. They want simple manufacturing jobs. Those used to be the middle class. They took away the middle class by making these stupid deals like NAFTA and WTO, where China is never hurt by any decision the WTO makes. And the Tea Party has realized it. So don't think Tea Party is just made of these ideologues. Tea Party is made of people like all of us who are very angry at looking at the country, that when we came to this country, we thought this was, where the gold is paved. You work hard, you make money. All of that's gone now. You have to be smart to make money.
That is very true. I'm not going to disagree with you there. But if you watch that debate, every single candidate, all of them unanimously raised their hands when they were asked a very simple question, which is, would they support any kind of a tax hike if there were 10 times as much spending cuts to accompany that one tax hike? Right?
Well, wait a second.
And they all stood up with their political ideology and said, no, they would not support it. That to me says they are not compromise-oriented people. And unfortunately, this election will once again be run with these political ideologies into their corners and nobody in the middle.
That was a tricky question. You know, it's just like a wife asking you, honey, do I look good in this dress? What's the answer? Yes, honey, you do. Same thing when somebody says, are you going to raise taxes? Oh, no. Hands automatically shoot up. So that was a tricky question, and I understand what the answers were. But did you see what Warren Buffett wrote in New York Times?
I did. And you know what? That is just screaming the point that all of the American public might be feeling inside, which is, look, there are rich people out there. Warren Buffett is one of the richest. And he's saying, look, folks, tax me. I don't pay enough taxes. And in fact, as someone who has been successful across many industries, you should be taxing me more, but the reality is I pay less taxes than the person who works for me in my own office. And I thought that was a very powerful comment that he made. And who can be more compelling than Warren Buffett?
He was really true and on the point that somehow the tax structure should be reformed. Really reformed, because today there are people who are in the business of selling and buying stocks. They only pay 15%, which is the only tax they pay, the capital gains tax, 15%, versus if we made the same money, we'll be paying 35 to 39%. That's what he's saying. He's saying clearly, don't say you want to raise the revenue. Don't say you want to raise, just make the system fair.
I love this quote in his article. If you make money with money, as some of my super rich friends do, your percentage may be a bit lower than mine in terms of what you pay for taxes, the percentage of your salary. But if you earn money from a job, like most Americans,
yes,
your